there was almost a Sally Field, they like me, they really like me moment. Be happy I'm not performing that. I totally have it memorized. Okay, so my name is Mikki Kendall, which you obviously already know. And this is about the internet, kinda, okay? Just buckle up. It's a little bit of a roller coaster. In advance, if you just are like, I can't take this, I'm going outside, I'm still not gonna be offended if you leave right now or in the middle of me saying something. It's cool. All right, the name of this talk is Toxic. Some of you will remember that time I got called toxic. Hang on, we'll get there. Wait, okay. All right, so blank slide, because here's why. I have a reputation as being a fighter on the internet, right? I'm gonna tell you a secret. I actually hate fighting. I fucking loathe it. I don't really wanna fight. I do it anyway, right? Because not fighting doesn't do me any good, and also, I hate bullies more than I hate not fighting, okay? And sometimes, this is also gonna shock you, I know, like you're gonna be astonished right now. Sometimes I get really mad, and then I don't really care that I don't like fighting. I'm just swinging. Some of you will know that. I was that girl in grammar school who was a nerd, like my nickname was literally books, but also like, you remember the girl who you knew that if you really pushed her, she would start crying and then you had to like leave the room? She grew up. But this habit of fighting is why I have big viral moments, right? And I've had a few of them. It's also kind of how I ended up with a writing career, but not really. So now comes the sad abortion-y part. We're gonna start here. All right, so in 2011 I went viral because I wrote about having an abortion. And it's sort of important that it was the medically necessary abortion, and sort of not important because it doesn't really matter why you choose to have an abortion, and you're gonna skip the thing where you tell me that like you need a reason for an abortion, right? But here comes the part about the blood. A couple years before that, when I actually had the abortion, I started hemorrhaging. I covered the walls of my house in blood. So to the hospital we go. This pregnancy is not viable and you need an abortion. And what happens after that, which is detailed in this article sort of, but badly, is that I didn't have a doctor who performed abortions at first. So I'm on the L&D floor, I'm having a long miscarriage, except I'm not miscarrying, I'm just bleeding, and the doctor says, I don't do abortions. And a nice nurse called a doctor who wasn't on call. And I don't know why that doctor didn't do abortions. I never did get an answer for that. That's a separate conversation that involved lawyers and the NDA. But I do know that the doctor that came saved my life. That's the important part of this conversation. I got 2 bags of blood, emergency middle of the night surgery, and the next day I got up and walked out of the hospital barefoot because I couldn't be in that building anymore, okay? So it wasn't that it didn't affect me. It was just that I'm from the kind of people where the fact that it affects you doesn't mean you don't have to deal with it. It just means you deal with it and you cry in your house. You don't cry in front of white people. Some of you will know that sentence. Those of you that don't will figure it out. But okay, a couple years go by and some guy on the internet, whose name I don't even frickin' remember, says there's never a reason to have an abortion. Now remember the thing about getting mad, okay? I got mad. So I write about it on Tumblr. I do not know, and you remember this, I do not know in the moment that this thing is about to go viral, because going viral wasn't a thing in 2011, right? It goes viral and Salon asks me to run it, okay? I write it, headline, the whole 9 yards. This was a mistake, for the record. This was a huge mistake, because what I didn't know was that Salon had absolutely no content moderation. None at all. I also didn't know that hanging out in Salon's comments consistently on every abortion article, a thing they neglected to disclose, was a group of far-right, like disavowed by Operation Rescue, far-right anti-abortion activists, right? Didn't know that. This is like the dregs, okay? Now I'm gonna spare you the examples of the messages, the rape and death threats. I'm gonna point out to you that if you're pro-life and your response to someone talking about an abortion is to threaten to kill them and leave their children without a mother, you probably aren't so pro-life. Also going to tell you that if you threaten to show up at my door and sexually assault me before you kill me and whatever, I'm going to take it seriously, but also, I was a combat medic in the US Army. Knock on my door if you want to. Good luck. There are feminists who are peaceful, who never fight, who don't do. I'm not one of those girls, right? I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Right, south side, ride or die. So we fight. We fight whether we want to or we don't want to, because that's Chicago, okay? So these messages aren't important, right? I know some of you are going to be like, well, what? You don't have to open the lid of the sewer to know the sewer stinks. I will tell you briefly as a shining moment. At the time this all happened, I worked for the federal government. This is an important part of this story. It won't seem like it, but it will in a second, you'll understand. So a man whose name I probably won't repeat, but you could probably find it, only because he's old and I don't think his family needs the trouble, had been sending me messages all day on Facebook. Remember Facebook's real name policy? Okay. I want you to keep that in mind too. Now I'm going to tell you a fun fact. I worked for the Department of Treasury at the time. It is a federal offense to threaten a federal employee during the commission of their duties. He sent me messages on Facebook over and over, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 in the afternoon. I don't know what that man actually did, but he had time. The problem with that, this is an important problem with that, is that technically that statute has a funny loophole. During the commission of their duties. Well, if you work for the federal government in the United States of America, you know when you're at work. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 in the afternoon. And because of the position I had at the time, I had to report it. It was important. I reported it. We have to tell people when we're a security risk. And the nice people were like, oh, I don't like him or the chick he follows, because they knew when I mentioned this woman's name. I'm not saying her name only because I refused to give her publicity. They knew. And the agent was like, well, I can do that. I can deal with that. You're going back to work. Well, I'm like, okay, this is a white guy in a suit. Like, this ain't nothing gonna happen. Turns out, knock, knock, knock. Did you write? Apparently he cried. He bawled his eyes out. He didn't want his life ruined. I guess. I'm not sure what he thought, right? Consequences. But like I said, it's the sewer. You don't have to open it to know it stinks. So we're going to skip that part. Okay. Here was the weirdest part, though. In the midst of the harassment and the aftermath of him getting in trouble, a new story starts. I wrote about my abortion to push my writing career. My failed writing career. The one I had just started. I had done it for attention. Now, some of you will remember that back in 2011, I wrote the occasional article, but not much, because I had a full-time job, 2 kids, I'm married, I was contemplating grad school. I was a little busy. So there was no writing career. There was me writing on the side as a hobby. But I had done it for attention, to get a better writing career. There are easier ways to get attention with way less death threats. For the record, if you are at all planning to sign up for 6 months and having to move and all of that, don't, right? And I'll say this, as a solution to the entire death threat parade, we were living in Tennessee, we left Tennessee, we moved back to Chicago. A fun fact about white supremacists, which is largely what you get into this end of this. They don't like the South Side. They ain't coming south of 35th. We were on 90th. Those of you that know about Chicago and Roseland in the hundreds right now are like, 90th and what, sis? Because the rest of that sentence is Parnell, Auburn Gresham. Right? Yeah. I don't even think them boys were getting out the car over there. Right? But the writing career. So, you know what going viral, one of the worst times in your life gets you? Nothing. I still went to work, still had kids, still had school, gotten on the stage somewhere to talk about it, right? But let's be clear here. I was terrified. Not so much for me, but for my family, right? I know what I'm inviting. I figured it out. But 2011, so 8 years ago, so my kids were 14. No, 12. 12. The big one was 12. Which means the little brother was 5, right? That math? Okay, great. Somebody sent me a picture through a scope. I was not happy about that. And if I ever see that one, well, y'all might have to explain why I need bail money. That's fine. Or an alibi. Go with alibi. Right. But here's the thing about going through hell. There's nothing you can do but keep going. Really, seriously. There's literally nothing you can do. I got internet famous for a while. Got no money, got no fame, got a lot of stress, some gray hairs, right? There was some crying. And then the inside baseball of it all basically is that life went on, right? My life really didn't significantly change all that much. But the keep going part, that's gonna be important. Remember it. So fast forward a couple years. I go viral again. Now this time, I really don't know what I'm getting myself into, right? Because the thing about articles is not everyone reads them, not everyone covers them. In 2013, Twitter wasn't what it is now. We didn't know yet. So I get mad. I'm defending my friend Sadet. This is another white people are pieces of crap kind of a moment. Not all white people before you have a not all white people moment. Like, put that away. But like, white feminist media has been backing this guy, and I'm gonna spare you the details because again, it's the sewer, but I'm gonna point out that he wrote an actual article about jizzing on someone's face as a feminist act and leave you with that. Right? So this guy gets the exact moment that like we all are having. Okay, great. So he had targeted my friend Sadet. Now, Sadet is 6 feet tall and looks like she can slay a dragon. The exterior of Sadet might be up to it. Inside, Sadet is soft as ice cream. She's gonna get really mad when she sees this. She is. You go ahead, text her. Tell her she can't romp with me, she know. Sadet is very good at fighting for other people. She's terrible at fighting for herself. And she is soft inside. Now, I'm older than the internet. So in my head, Sadet is a baby. Most of you are babies. Some of you aren't. And some of you listen. Sunscreen and moisturizer. So I get mad. And I'm having a conversation with the white feminist who's telling Sadet that she had to protect her community. And you can find out who it was, but like, we've all continued. And I make this hashtag. This is not a good hashtag. It's terrible. It's not short, it's not snappy, it's not anything. Like, this a marketing student somewhere probably went, what? But it goes viral anyway. 7 million people. Trends worldwide for a couple of days. Now, at this point, I am in the deep well of the deepest wells. Because what the shit is this? Right? I was mad. And then I went and got a snack. And I came back. Right? Here's where I also confess that, you know, when you run across this in classes later, the chick who sort of changed the feminist conversation, yada, yada, yada. I think I was posting cat gifs in between at first. I was definitely eating ice cream. And so this happens though, like it's a big deal. But this time, after the nonsense, I cussed out a lot of your 80s actress faves on Twitter. I told a lot of people to go F themselves because when white feminists said I was being divisive and some other stuff, I'm gonna tell you a secret. When the first time you go viral, there are death threats. The second time when someone says I don't like you, you're like, bitch, so what? You're not gonna beat my ass. Right? Like, you're not finna pull up on me, and if you are, girl, come on. You ain't got hands. Many of your faves do not have hands. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. So, they have this moment. And, all right, part of why this hashtag works is because white feminism sucks, right? And if you're in your feelings about that, tell Jesus. He might care. I don't know. I don't. If you're mad at me by now, don't worry. There's like a line. There's a sign-up sheet. I'm not sure what you get. They might have t-shirts by now. I'm from the dark side. We have cookies. You'll be all right. So, but I go viral. Okay, fine. It got me something. A whole article in The Guardian. Ooh-wee. It was a $150 check, I remember it. Right? I wrote a couple times about the hashtag. A bunch of other people wrote about the hashtag. But I'd been writing by then a little bit more. And Matt Seaton at The Guardian really was basically like, I know you can yell at people, but can you write? And in third grade playground speak, that meant, okay, what you got? I'm gonna show you what I got. Some of you know this third grade playground speak. Some of you are like, I've never done that, but now I want to. So, the criticism starts. I'm doing it wrong, right? I'm divisive, I'm wrong, I'm whatever, but also, I'm not nice enough. I don't know who told you I was nice. Whoever told you I was nice, I want you to go back and tell them, Mikki Kendall said you're a liar. And she would like to see you at 3 o'clock at the flagpole. So, again, though, top of the sewer, doesn't smell any better than the bottom. Got a whole thing going. I got canceled, right? I was toxic. Again, nothing really happens. I just go on about my business, right? People write about it. I had to answer questions about my anger on NPR. Someone called me a bully, right? I can tell you why I was bullied. I can actually tell you, because I said that a white woman who said that Simone Biles' parents were bad parents, I said that I hope she cried because she was so upset when people told her what an asshole she was. That was me bullying. I mean, I guess. I mean, all right. But then we really got into the depths of this idea that me being angry was a problem, right? And I had ruined my career. Remember that writing career? Remember that writing career? Okay. So I broke it. I just absolutely set that career on fire. I was never gonna write anything. I was never gonna get anywhere, yada, yada, yada. Mind you, I still have a government job. If nothing else happens, I got a pension and food on the table and a whole ass family, and they love me. Cool. Except I killed my writing career. Remember the one I didn't have that I was trying to build? Well, now I've killed it. Except, not really. So, I started doing that. Now, if you're thinking, Mikki, that's a lot of places. Damn, girl, what were you doing? I was writing. I was writing more, right? I was writing all the time. This is only a selection. I went out and I got 200 clips, right? Now here's where I tell you another secret. This is really a secret. I'm a beast, okay? I show up, I show out. So I did all of that. I wrote some comics. I wrote some short stories. Kept showing up on Twitter, and then I started showing up in documentaries. And there was wailing, and sackcloth, and ashes. There may have been some gnashing of some teeth and some rending of garments. I was still a beast. Because now we get to the part where we really talk about why I'm here. Writing is one of those careers where you hear no more than you hear yes, okay? In general, it doesn't matter what else has happened. I'm I'm a black girl from the south side of Chicago, born and raised, but I got a master's degree. You know how many times I heard no between Chicago public schools and a master's degree? You know I paid for that degree with the Army, right? I was married, I got a divorce, I got remarried. That man heard no from me 287,000 times. I love you. But I was in no hurry. I was like, shh, this divorce happened, I'm good, right? So I had a whole life outside the internet. And I'm gonna tell you another secret. When all of this was happening, and white girls wanted me to get on in front of Congress or get on stages, you know what black girls said? You need someplace to stay? My cousin and them, they got a piece of property, and they got all them dogs, them guns. Them boys ain't coming down there. You good? You need some money? You all right? Because here's the thing. We've talked a lot about the internet and harassment today. And it can totally feel like it's ruining your life. And I think it feels more like it's ruining your life if you don't have your own community and your own safety network, right? So you've heard the name Black Twitter. How many of you have seen Black Twitter? Wanted to know what the password was? All of that. When's the meeting? And I am technically part of Black Twitter, right? Really, I'm just a black girl on the internet, but we're gonna go with Black Twitter for a second. We're all we got. You'll see us say that. You'll see black girls say repeatedly, we're all we got. You'll see us, Black Girl Magic, Kashawn Thompson. You'll see us stand up together, right? And you'll see people you don't know slide in somebody's mentions. You'll see me sometimes, hey, they really giving so-and-so the business. Go get her. Let's go get her. What that means is, we're gonna make sure this doesn't ruin your life, doesn't ruin your day, right? First of all, because fuck these hoes. Period, point blank. If I have upset you with that sentence, if you have ever sent me an angry message and you would really like to run up to the stage right now, please do. I haven't Sparta kicked anybody in a while. It'll be great. Man, nobody's moving. Damn it. I have been practicing my Sparta kick. Okay. Sorry. I'm silly. Sometimes I'm an asshole on the internet. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, all of that. But ultimately, I'm a person. And I have friends, I have a community. I do stuff that has nothing to do with the internet. If you've ever sent me a message and gotten mad, I didn't respond to it, I probably didn't see it. Or I saw it before I went to bed. Or, well, I don't know you from a can of paint, and I gotta figure out whether or not I wanna deal with you. Listen, right? Boundaries. I love boundaries. Do you love boundaries? If you don't love boundaries, please love boundaries. And with the internet, Jesus Christ, please get a boundary with the internet. Buy a boundary, right? Take yourself outside, turn it off if you need to. People are being mean to you on the internet, those people aren't your friend, right? Do you care what people who don't like you, do you care what they have to say? These are important questions to ask. And I know, sometimes people get canceled because they really did something wrong. And they're a threat and all of that. And this advice is not for those people. This advice is for the people who had a fight with a friend and now your friend group wants to ostracize you, or the internet is mad that you said something 10 years ago. If you still believe the thing from 10 years ago, okay, well now you're an asshole and you deserve this work. But if you've apologized for the thing from 10 years ago, repeat the apology, go on with your life. There's not much you can do your best to make amends. Sometimes people forgive you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's nothing for you to be forgiven for, okay? I'm not gonna tell you I've been perfect on the internet, I haven't been. Again, I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole with a temper. I've probably been awful, but I try not to pick on people who have less than me. I try not to make people's day harder, right? Now, if you started with me, you made a decision, choices were made. Oh, the places we will go. But otherwise, you need to have a community. Also, for the love of God, get a group chat. Yes. You don't have to say everything out loud that you are thinking. in a group chat with someone in this audience, I am 100% certain that later the group chat will A, hear everything, and B, this is really important, whatever I got wrong, she'll tell me about it. Okay? Because this is the other thing. Sometimes the things you see on the internet have nothing to do with what's going on off the internet. I know I'm telling you wild, wacky things here. Wild things. But once upon a time, we closed the internet and we went places together, or did things. Or we called people up on the phone when we were upset with them. And I'm not saying the internet is terrible. Sometimes you have to say some shit in public on the internet. Lord knows I do. But sometimes you have to stop, catch yourself. Is this really what I need to do with my time today? Is this really what I need to let into my space today? Because the people in your phone, they're not gonna beat your ass. And if they can come beat your ass, well listen, first of all, we're gonna talk about self-defense classes and some other things. The second of all, why do they have your address? If you are Ubering to fight somebody over something on the internet, you have deeper problems. If you're meeting in Temecula. Okay, so some of the white people didn't get that. Just look up Meet Me in Temecula. Temecula. It's an entire thing. I think I've killed a section of this room. This baby looks like she's crying. She's laughing so hard. Okay. Oh, your nails are cute. Yeah. Sorry. I have ADD. Don't expect much. But anyway, so I started writing about that career. So, Amazon's Abolitionist Activist, this is a shameless plug. November 5th. Okay? Hood Feminism, February 25th. I've always been a writer. I wrote in grammar school. That's why my nickname was Books. I finally accepted it and got myself a lovely tattoo, right? Because that's ultimately who I am. The internet did a little something. It certainly helped boost the number on the check. Thank you, internet, for that. Thank you. I appreciate you. My student loans appreciate you. My hungry ass children really appreciate you. For those of you who don't know me from the internet, unfortunately, I have giant children who eat all my food. I like to climb mountains and trees, okay? And I have the children that result from being someone who has a height restriction. It's my fault. I say that way because literally there was a friend of mine who was in a group chat with me who is currently probably like, this is all your fault, I told you about them tall people. She's rude. I've known her since kindergarten. She's rude. And she feels like she can tell me anything. Damn it. But all right. So nothing's going to change the fact that I'm a writer. The fact that you wish I'd shut up, so what? The fact that you wish I didn't get those book deals, who cares? There's a woman who sends angry emails to every editor of mine. She's done it for years. It's great. I'm going to name her, actually. Her first name is Nancy. She writes angry blog posts. And the best part of this is that she's mad at me because she's Barbara Streisanding herself. And for those of you who don't know what that means, she said something racist on the internet, and someone named her name and talking about her racism in like 2012 or something. I don't freaking know. I didn't say the thing. I didn't have anything to do with the thing, but the person is someone I know, and I reblogged on Tumblr their post. Now, anyone who's ever used Tumblr can tell you that a Tumblr reblog with 19 notes disappears into the ether, right? Unless you're Nancy, and you link to it, and my name, every day, for years. She would like that not to be top in her Google results. She emailed my friend Tempest about the same thing. Tempest, being nicer than me, tried to explain to her what was happening. And then Tempest called me and said, "What the fuck?" And I was like, the internet is a cesspool. Well, that's what the fuck. But Nancy has upset herself. Right now, Nancy is probably gonna send me an angry email. It's gonna be fine. And in the angry, ragey internet, when you want people to shut up, and some people need to shut up, right? Like, we're talking about fascists, neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates, all of them, please shut the hell up. Please. But if it's just someone who said a thing you don't like, or criticized something you like, a movie or whatever, your chances of getting them to shut up are non-existent. If your hope is for me to shut up, buddy, bigger, badder, better than you have tried. And, well, I've broken the same ankle 3 times, and it's still flapping around at the end of my foot, okay? So, I got that reversed, but you know what I meant. The internet tried to ruin my life. It didn't work, okay? Didn't kill my career. Does it look destroyed? Right. That writing career. The internet actually kind of made it easier for me. I'm gonna tell you another secret, because Streisand effect is a thing. The people who hate my guts, the people who are gonna angrily tweet about this speech. Thank you. Please link to this slide. But the thing is, I use the internet for my purpose, right? We all live in the internet. And a bunch of us are doing things on the internet that really don't have very much to do with the internet, except the internet is a great platform to put your stuff out. But the internet can't, yeah, I see you, and you better be picking up everything I'm putting down, because you got 4 whole books. Don't make me walk you up on the stage. Don't. Ask people if I do that, because I do. But the internet is a great place to publicize what you're doing. It's a great place to make friends, all of that, right? Now I'm going to tell you another secret. When this book comes out, Amazon's Abolitionists and Activists, someone's going to cancel me. I'm telling you that in advance. I argue that trans women are women, and that they've contributed to the history of women's rights. I argue that disabled women, labor activism, I argue a lot of things, and by arguing I mean I just use history. Right? This is not like a big thing. Like, literally, like, I appreciate the applause, but also, like, really honestly, it's just facts. It's literally just facts, right? And so someone's gonna cancel me, and someone's gonna be mad, and somebody that's a TERF is gonna say something to me, and I might get to use my Sparta kick then. I'm really looking for an excuse. Ever since I saw that movie, I just wanna. Okay? But here's the thing. You're not going to stop being in your purpose if you know what you are and what you want to do. And you can absolutely have a community that helps you and protects you. And it doesn't mean they're supposed to tell you you're right when you're wrong. Because trust me, Tempest is going to send me 52 pages of notes. Probably about body language or something. Or my lipstick. Is my lipstick okay?
It's great.
Oh, yay! A Tempest lipstick moment is very important. Don't you understand? But I'm still in my purpose. I'm a writer. I'm always going to be a writer. The fact that I'm a writer on the internet or not on the internet, whatever, right? But the internet can't kill your career. The internet can't destroy you, unless, of course, the internet is your career. And then we have to have this completely separate conversation, which is longer than this 20-minute talk. But what the internet can do is make you sad. It can make you mad. It can make you feel a lot of things. And there's nothing wrong with your feelings. But please be kind enough to yourself to recognize when it's toxic, when it's actually bad for you, right? This is the equivalent of stop poking yourself in the eye, okay? You remember that game? Why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself. Yeah, stop hitting yourself if you need to. There's nothing wrong with self-care. There's nothing wrong with being like, I can't do this right now. There's also nothing wrong with realizing that the fact that people are mad at you is ultimately meaningless if you're doing the right thing, right? Fuck these hoes, literally. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're gonna be mad at you. Someone who was never gonna buy what you create is now not gonna buy what you create. All right, so like, I think I'm actually technically over time, but buy my books. Be kind to each other. Thank you for having me.